Good evening and welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of the City of Hartford Planning Commission. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And the first thing on the agenda would be the review and the minutes for the July 8th meeting. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Dave.
I'll second.
Second by Scott. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. As with that, at every meeting, we allow appearances. Anyone that wants to make an appearance, there's three. You can have 3 minutes that come up to the podium, state your name, address. Appearances going a second time. Appearances third time, and we are moving on. What is the next? My phone just. Discussion and consideration of a rezoning request for an unaddressed parcel in the town of Rubicon. Mr. Planner.
All right, so John and Christy Odenwald are proposing to rezone a 34.786 acre unaddressed parcel in the town of Rubicon. They want to build a house on there as well as a suitable storage facility for home equipment and to maintain the property, so like a pole barn type of shed on the property. The city comprehensive plan has the future land use of this parcel as parks and open space. As you can see from the extraterritorial zoning ordinance, both zoning districts, the current one R1 and A2, allow for single family dwelling units, 1 acre or 1 unit per lot, so both are allowed by right. When you get down to the agricultural uses, which will be rezoned to, it does allow for quite a bit of different land uses for aquatic species raising, general farming, harvesting of wild crops, horticulture. But you do see with the animal confinement facilities, it does require a conditional use permit for those. The major reason as to why they're looking for the rezoning is, if you can see in the accessory uses under the intergovernmental agreement or the intergovernmental zoning code, for all lots located within the R1 and R2 residential zoning district, no single accessory building shall exceed 1,500 square feet in area. And because of that, it's pretty tough to make a pole barn under it. That's a residential garage in essence. It's been reviewed by the town of Rubicon Plan Commission as well as the town board. It's been approved at both of those boards. If you look at the maps in your packet, this property is pretty limited by wetlands and floodplain on it, so it's not a highly developable parcel. So city staff really doesn't have any issues with this being rezoned to A2 agriculture. So again, planning staff recommends the Plan Commission give a positive recommendation to the Common Council for approval of the rezoning request for an unaddressed parcel, tax key 038-1017-1413-0000 in the town of Rubicon from single family residential R1 to A2 general agriculture. There will be a public hearing at the August 27th Common Council with the ordinance.
Thank you very much. Discussion. Hearing any discussion? If there is no discussion, then we need a motion to approve. Or is there anybody out in the audience that would like to speak on behalf of this at this time? Nope. We have a motion to approve. Second by Dave. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and consideration of an extraterritorial certified survey map for tax keys T6029200Y, and I'm not going to read all that, along Hilldale Drive in the town of Hartford.
All right.
Go ahead.
So the Nick P. Lago Living Trust is looking to divide what are currently 3 parcels. The tax keys are T6-0292-00Y, T6-0299-00Z, and T6-0298 into 4 parcels. If you look at the division of how the parcels are, they're pretty much all 24-acre parcels for the most part. That's pretty much an equal division of this property. In the intergovernmental agreement, so long as it's nothing that is outside the normal for that area, we can allow for the for the CSM to be less than 35 acres, so long as it's conforms to what is in the area. Looking at the CSM in itself, we're looking to have the following note added to the CSM. Any future subdivision of lot 1 through 4 under Wisconsin State Statute 263 shall require an annexation to the city of Hartford. This is again to keep small, like 5-acre lots and stuff like that in these, which makes it harder for future land use development for the city of Hartford in the future, as well as on that one corner of the Hilldale Drive, the dedicated right-of-way from the center line gets less than 33 feet. We would like all right-of-way dedications shall not be less than 33 feet from the center line. That would be conversations with the surveyor. But again, this division of land, it does follow our comprehensive plan. These 3 parcels currently have a pretty big mix of land uses on them, from low density residential to medium density residential, so 1 dwelling unit per acre or less, up to 5.82 to 8 dwelling units per acre. So it's a varied mix on that property. This would still conform with what's on our comprehensive plan. So again, we're recommending that we approve it, but we need that note for the annexation requirement, as well as the 33 feet from center line right-of-way dedications.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
I'm Don Toma from Accurate Surveying. I have a couple comments to that.
Okay. State your name again, please, and where you were.
Don Toma from Accurate Surveying, and I'm here on behalf of the Mago Trust.
Okay.
So one of the comments was that any further division of this parcel would require annexation. And I had a conversation with the trust attorney and Ian Proust. And I have the email here I could hand out to, but he was going to talk with Jacob about some language that would allow each of these owners to at least build a house on each of their own parcels. And the reason we're creating 4 parcels is each of the daughters are going to have their own property instead of being in one trust. And they want to have the ability to build their own house on it, or one of their children build a house on their grandpa's farm. So, but I don't see Jacob got the language quite correctly, any different use. And Ian made a comment about that every further land division would be further reviewed. I don't want to leave that out of the discussion, but it wasn't gonna force annexation just because they're changing the use on part of the parcel. So the second comment that I heard Jacob say was that they require 33 feet of road dedication, which I understand. I've done 33 feet forever. But in this particular case, the parcel across the road they do not own. And the existing roadway is only 24.75 feet, which is a 3-rod road. So we're dedicating 33 feet on the side that we own it. But the legal description for the parcel across the road, that we're only dedicating 24.75 feet because that's all that they own. That legal description says all the land's lying north of the road right-of-way. So the road right-of-way is 24.75 feet, so they can't dedicate something they don't own.
Okay. Questions? Is that it? Or Jacob, would you like to?
As for the building of single-family units on these 4 lots, we allowed the town to rezone the properties to RR1, rural residential, which does allow for single-family on each of these lots. It's just the further subdivision and development of these lots the city is concerned with. That's why we are putting this note on.
Well, he didn't allow them to zone it. They didn't want to zone it to R1. It's a 40,000 square foot minimum, but that is the next smallest district that the town has, other than ag, which is 35 acres. So if they had like a 5-acre rural residential or a 10-acre rural residential, they would have gladly rezoned it to that. So it's zoned to R1 because they couldn't meet the 35 acres in the A1 district. So that's the only reason they rezoned it.
But it does allow for a single family on it, so that's why we're not concerned with an addition of a single family development on any of these properties.
Well, in the A1, it allows single-family residences also. So, I mean, that's not exactly true, but,
Thank you very much.
okay.
Appreciate it. So, we have a recommendation.
So, yeah, taking in Don Toma's comments, again, I think we still push for the following note to be added, because again, it's zoned for residential, so we will allow, we won't stop, or their code allows them to build a single family on each of these lots, so we're not prohibiting them from that. We're just, any further subdivisions of this land under Wisconsin State Statute 236 would require annexation. And as the way I read it, and I guess I was incorrect in how I read it, I'm all right with removing item number 2, the all right-of-way dedication shall not be less than 33 feet from the center line. I'm all right with that, removing that. But the note should be maintained from the city's perspective.
I have one more thing to say on the,
Okay.
on the comment to that.
Okay.
So annexation, the owner is to petition to the village or the city and ask to be annexed. I mean, that's like a right that they should have just because they've changed the use. Jacob seems to think that if you change the use in any way, it should be annexed. And these owners are against being forced to annex something just because they're gonna build a house on it. But I don't disagree with Eon's comment that every further division shall be reviewed. But the language that it shall be annexed is pretty strong language.
When it's subdivided further.
Any further subdivision
Any
should be
future
reviewed, is
subdivision,
what
yeah.
Eon
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, any future subdivision of lot 1 through 4 under Wisconsin State Statutes 236 shall require annexation into the city of Hartford. So we're allowing this current subdivision into 4 parcels. In the future, any subdivision of these 4 lots would require annexation. We're not saying anything about the use, we're just saying if it's subdivided, it has to be annexed into the city. Because you usually can't put 2 single-family houses on one single lot. So that would require a subdivision of land, and that's when you start getting into smaller lots.
So you're gonna take away these people's rights to, if their daughter or son wants to build a house on 25 acres, and you're gonna require them to annex it. I mean, Eon's comments were actually, if we read this email, it says, if there is sewer and water down Hilldale Drive, then any further division may require annexation, and every further division would require a review. So that's a little different than your language that you're asking us to put on.
I had spoke with Ian, and I can forward that email on to
I have it
Don
right
Poe.
here. Well,
It
actually,
was
I
an
have
internal
mine.
email, but we did discuss it, and after his conversations with everyone, it was under the understanding that future subdivision of the land would require annexation.
So as it stands right now, they can build a house on the
Yep.
25, one house.
Yep.
But if they want to subdivide that,
Correct.
it would have to be annexed into
Correct.
Hartford.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay, so they can still build a house if they like.
correct,
We're not preventing that.
correct.
So, but if their son or daughter, or they had 2 sons, or 2 children, they wanted to each build a house on their grandpa's farm, you would require them on 24 acres to annex one right in the middle, just because that person, kids wanted to build each a house on it. That seems a little extreme to
You
me.
can't annex it, that would be considered an island.
I think if we left the note that it should be further reviewed, I think that would be strong enough, because then you could make that decision later on.
Thank you again for your comments.
Okay.
Did you look at Wisconsin State statute? You said 3?
No, I didn't understand it, so it should be in there. So, I mean, one thing we're talking about, just in case anybody's asking me at a side conversation, first of all, you can't just annex one house or one lot if you're gonna put another house on. It puts you under an island, there's a whole issue with that whole thing, so I believe, and I do know we have agreements that you can turn around in a farmland, you could take, and I don't think this is large enough, I think it'd be greater than 35 acres, where you could break down and build a house off the side on it. But that is considered off of more of the agriculture, not the residential, correct? When we have those agreements with the different townships.
Correct. For each community, we have different, or each of the townships surrounding us, we have different intergovernmental. Like in Rubicon, we actually control the zoning as well as part
Right.
of anything east.
Right.
Aaron, we don't. With our agreement with them, we don't allow annexation to the city in their township. In our agreement with them, we do allow acre or parcels less than 35 acres, so long as they meet the area, they conform with the surrounding development, and most of those the lots out that way are, for the most part, larger 25, 10-acre parcels out there or larger. We believe that, again, an intergovernmental agreement is to foster responsible growth and development of the town for the city. That's why we go into these agreements, is so that we can do responsible development. And from our perspective, to allow for responsible development, anything once you start getting into the 5 to 10 acre lots and further subdivisions, smaller subdivisions, it needs to be monitored further by the city. And that's why, again, we're allowing this annexation or the creation of these 4 lots to 25 acres and allow the building of property or of single-family structure on it. It's just, again, we have concerns about once you get smaller than 25 acres or anything like that, it can impede how the development the future development of the city could occur out on Hilldale Drive. And I understand the property owner's concerns, but at the end of the day, it's
So he can't be talking anymore. We gotta,
it's our city's
this is not for
concern.
argument.
We're gonna just go with what we have now. So your comments were appreciated, but we're gonna go forward from this point, so.
I don't think that's
We
exactly
appreciate the
fair.
comments, but we have to move forward. So we have it as it is right now, the way you're presenting it, then
Yep.
Jacob would be
And I'm
that
willing to strike number 2.
strike number 2.
Yep.
Okay. So then the motion would be to accept staff recommendations as proposed minus the right-of-ways.
Correct.
Okay. I'll motion approve. Since I said it, I'll motion it.
Okay, motion by Joe,
I'll second.
second by Scott. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda. After I have to get to the agenda, my apologies here. Okay, we are on number 6. Discussion and consideration of an annexation petition, tax key number T60161000C, north of 1668 West State Street in the town of Hartford. Jacob.
All right, Langenecker Property Management LLC is looking to attach a parcel, a 2.04 acre parcel to an eventually it'll be the existing parcel, which is 1668 West State Street. That parcel is zoned A1 agriculture and is 2.97 acres. Upon annexation, it would then, and the joining of the 2 parcels would create a 5.06 acre parcel, which would allow the development of the shed. This development went in front of the Zoning Board of Appeals and it was denied because it was this parcel was annexed in 2014, which is our prior code. Because it was annexed in at a size that was less than the 5 acres, it was a self-imposed hardship. So the variance was denied, and in order to allow for the development of the 7,200 square foot shed in the A1 zoning district, they're looking to annex this 2.04 acre parcel to create that 5 acre parcel to allow for the development of the shed. Upon annexation, the default zoning is A1. We would recommend that it stay A1 just because it would then go with 1668 West State Street. So there is no one residing at this property, it's just vacant land. It's a new parcel, so there hasn't been any taxes collected on it yet. We're projecting, based on other vacant land in the town of Hartford, that once the city annexes it, the city would have to pay the town of Hartford taxes on this parcel for 5 years, which would be approximately 51 cents. Again, there are no students on this, so there's no impact to the schools. Again, we're gonna zone it A1 once it annexes into the city, and it's within the sanitary sewer service boundary. However, stating that there are no utilities at this property from the city's end, and we're not looking for them to connect it to that parcel. So again, staff recommends approval of the petition for direct annexation by unanimous consent submitted by the Langenecker Property Management LLC, Eric Langenecker, registered agent, for approximately 2.04 acres north of 1668 West State Street in the town of Hartford.
Thank you, Jacob. Any discussion regarding this?
Motion.
Make a
Motion to
motion by
approve.
Dave to approve. Second by Ralph. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is the discussion and consideration of a preliminary plat for the Harvest Creek subdivision along County Highway K. And the tax keys there, I'll leave that up to you, Jacob. I would butcher them if I tried reading
Oh,
them.
no
all,
worries.
so.
All right, so Home Path Financial Limited Partnership, Jeff Kleiner is the registered agent, is looking to create a Harvest Creek subdivision. The preliminary plat is in front of you. This parcel was a combination of two parcels that were annexed into the city in 2024. At the time, it was totaling 18.08 acres when it was annexed in, but again, right-of-way dedications and such, it's about 17.4 acres. Looking at the breakdown of the lots, there's going to be townhouses, which are single-family attached, which means they're fee simple, so they're smaller lots, but they're owned instead of condo association where there's a condo area where it's owned by everyone. Here, it's actually privately owned. So there'll be 32 lots altogether, totaling 3.81 acres altogether for those. We have single-family detached. There are about 12 of those lots. Again, that's 3.5 acres in total for those. The lot sizes from them range from 13,440 square feet down to 9,000 square feet. And then we have 3 outlots varying in size, 2 of which contain stormwater management facilities for the subdivision. And then again, when breaking it down, it comes to about 3.17 dwelling units per acre, which meets the comprehensive plan for the city of Hartford for that type of density for those parcels. We have our staff comments for preliminary notes. You will see in your packet that there was a comment back from the engineer that is doing that. Most of these have been answered already. We just haven't received that final version of the preliminary plat, which will go in front of the August 20th Common Council for review. But they've pretty much addressed them all. There's some minor things that we still have to work out, but again, this would be the first subdivision since about 2019 for the city. And actually probably 2016 in all honesty. I think the Conservancy, I can't remember. I think that was more apartments than single family residential.
Oh.
Or a condo type of development.
Thank you, Jacob.
Yep.
Any discussion? Questions? Comments?
Looks good.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Scott,
Joe.
second by Joe. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Discussion and consideration of a public participation plan and resolution to amend the City of Hartford's 2030 Comprehensive Smart Growth Plan, future land use map for 228 West State Street. Tax key number there. Jacob?
All right, again, we're not approving any change tonight to the comprehensive plan. This is just the first step in a comprehensive plan amendment, is to have a public participation plan. So we're just here passing a resolution from the Plan Commission, kind of the guiding principles of how we'll move forward with the comprehensive plan amendment. It's pretty simple, it's just we're trying to make sure that the public is aware, and this is required kind of by state statutes to have a public participation plan.
Any action required on this or just?
Just approval of the public participation plan and resolution to amend the City of Hartford's 2030 Comprehensive Plan, Smart Growth Plan's future land use map for 2028 West Main Street. What they're looking to do is, because it's a church, make it a business where it's a wedding chapel type of scenario. It kind of goes through that outline in their letter in the packet.
Okay. Any questions, comments regarding that item? 228 West State. Motion by Dave. Second by Ralph. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Planners report. We pretty much,
I don't think there's anything on the planner's report tonight. We're
just
making
being on the-
progress on the zoning code. Hopefully, we'll have adoption soon. There's some stuff we're working out on the airport overlay district in regards to stormwater ponds in a zone district too, so that allows for single-family subdivisions and stuff like that.
okay. I just saw it was on the agenda, so I just.
Yeah, that's
just
all
mentioned
right,
it.
yeah.
So. All right, motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion? I'm gonna do it that way.
Sure.
Motion by Joe.
I'll second.
Second by Scott. All in favor? Signify by saying aye. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.